If you're out in the woods at night, there are a few things you should never do. If you hear something, don't answer it. If it sounds like someone you know, don't follow it. And if something starts moving outside your camp, pretend you didn't hear it. Welcome to Campfire Static, where the woods watch back. Story 1. I'm not giving you my real name. No one I know would believe this. You can call me Ryan. I'd been on the road long enough for the world to start feeling unreal. The kind of drive where the horizon doesn't move, just stretches. Southwest desert, bleached sky. No service, no stations, no cars. Just heat shimmering off the asphalt like something alive. I kept telling myself it'd be worth it. LA, acting gig, my shot. But by the time the fuel needle dipped under a quarter and my stomach started turning on itself, I hadn't seen another human being in over an hour. Then I saw it. A diner, just there, off the side of the road like it had always been waiting for me. No sign, I noticed. No cars in the lot. But the lights were on. I didn't think twice. I pulled in. The bell over the door gave a soft chime when I stepped inside. Cool air hit me first. Then the smell. Coffee, grease, something sweet underneath it all. There were 5 people inside. The server stood behind the counter wiping her hands on a towel. Normal, tired maybe, but real. The cook was behind the window, back turned, working the grill. Also normal. Then there were the others. 2 people sat in a booth together, a man and a woman. And one guy sat at the counter with a cup of coffee in front of him. They weren't wrong, just off. Their posture, their stillness, like mannequins that remembered how to breathe but not much else. I told myself I was just tired. "Sit wherever you like," the server said, giving me a small smile. Her voice grounded me. I slid into a booth. I ordered something simple: burger, fries, coffee. She nodded, scribbled it down, and called it back to the cook. Normal. Everything was normal. Except it wasn't. The couple in the booth hadn't touched their food. Plates sat in front of them, half-eaten maybe, but they didn't move, didn't speak, just stared. Not at anything, past everything. The guy at the counter lifted his coffee once, slowly, then set it back down in the exact same spot, like it weighed too much. I tried not to stare. My food came quicker than expected. The plate was hot, real. The smell hit me hard, and I realized how hungry I actually was. I picked up the burger, and that's when I noticed the window. The light outside had changed. Not darker, not quite. Muted. A heavy fog was rolling in. Fast. Too fast. It swallowed the edges of the road first, then the empty lot, then everything beyond the glass. "Hey," I said, glancing toward the server. "That come out of nowhere?" She didn't look surprised. She walked to the door, locked it. The click echoed louder than it should have. "It's okay," she said calmly. "It'll pass." Something in her tone made my chest tighten. "What is it?" I asked. She met my eyes. "Just don't pay them any mind," she said. "And don't go outside. We'll be fine." Them. The first knock came a few seconds later. Soft, then louder. I turned. There was someone outside, face pressed against the glass. I hadn't seen them approach, hadn't heard footsteps, just there. Their features looked wrong, not distorted like a horror movie, worse. Like they'd been worn down, smoothed out. Eyes dull, mouth slightly open, like they'd forgotten how to use it. Another figure appeared beside them, then another. They knocked. Not frantic, not aggressive, just persistent, like they expected to be let in. I looked back at the other customers inside. The couple hadn't moved. But now, I realized something. They looked like the people outside. Less faded, but close, like earlier versions. Don't look at them too long, the server said quietly. I forced my eyes down to my plate. My appetite was gone, but I grabbed a fry anyway. Needed something normal, something real. The knocking continued. More figures gathered outside, shapes moving through the fog, faces pressing to the glass, all with that same emptiness. I heard the man at the counter finally speak. His voice was dry, barely there. "It's back." No one answered him. Time stretched. I don't know how long it lasted. Could have been minutes, could have been longer. The fog thickened until the outside world didn't exist anymore. Just pale shapes and hollow faces at the edges. Then, slowly, it started to lift. The figures didn't leave right away. They lingered, watching, waiting. Then, as the fog pulled back across the road, they turned and walked with it, one by one, until they were gone. The server unlocked the door like nothing had happened. "See," she said softly. "Told you it'd pass." I didn't finish my food. I paid. Cash. My hands were shaking just enough to notice. As I walked out, I glanced back once. The couple in the booth hadn't moved. The man at the counter still had his coffee. And for a second, I thought I saw one of them blink, slower than a person should. I drove, faster than I should have. Didn't stop, didn't look back. The road eventually changed. The horizon broke. Lights appeared in the distance, real ones, moving ones. A town. People. Life. I didn't pull over until I was surrounded by it. And even then, I kept checking the mirrors. Because part of me couldn't shake the feeling that something had almost asked me to stay. And if I had, I might have forgotten how to leave. Story 2. Name's Randy, 54, 30 years behind the wheel. You don't last that long running freight without seeing things. Breakdowns in the middle of nowhere. Accidents you can't forget. People doing things at 3 a.m. they wouldn't dare in daylight. I always said I'd seen it all. That was before Death Valley. At night. Most drivers won't run that stretch after dark. Too isolated. Too much that can go wrong with no help coming. I was one of the few who would. Done it plenty of times. Knew the road like it was part of me. Every mile marker, every bend. Even the way the air feels when something's off. I never stopped out there, never needed to. I packed my meals, stayed moving, got through. Only this time, I forgot dinner. Didn't think it'd matter. It did. About an hour in, the hunger started to hit hard. That hollow, gnawing kind that makes your focus slip, makes your thoughts feel slower, heavier. No lights, no cars, just road and black desert stretching forever. Then I saw it. A diner. It looked new. Bright sign glowing clean and steady. Parking lot freshly paved, smooth like it had been laid that morning. Didn't belong out there. But there it was. A couple cars sat out front, not many, normal for that hour. I hesitated longer than I should have. Then I pulled in. The second I stepped inside, I felt it. Not wrong, just too right. Warm light. Clean floors, smell of fresh food, and people. A few scattered around, not many. They all looked up at me at the same time, smiling, too wide. "Welcome in," one of them said, and the others echoed it, not together, but close enough to feel like it. Like I wasn't just walking into a diner, like I was being welcomed into something. I sat at the counter. The waitress came over quick, friendly. Real friendly. "What can I get you, honey?" Her tone was warm, but there was something underneath it, something I couldn't place. "Just a burger," I said, "and water." She nodded fast. "Of course." Too fast. The cook was behind the window, big guy, quiet, didn't smile like the others. didn't look at me at first. Then he did. And just for a second, he looked scared, like he'd seen this play out before. My water came, glass sweating, ice clinking. I reached for it. That's when I saw it, out of the corner of my eye. The cook. He made a small motion with his hand, sharp, quick. No. I paused, looked straight ahead like I hadn't noticed. Then slowly, I pulled my hand back. Didn't touch the glass. My food came not long after. Burger looked perfect, fries fresh, smelled incredible. Too incredible. I glanced at the cook again. He was staring right at me now, shaking his head, slow, mouthing one word. No. "You gonna try it?" the waitress asked. I looked at her. She was smiling. So were the others. Every single one of them was watching me now. "Yeah," I said, "in a second." "Go on," someone from a booth called out. "Bet it's real good." Another voice. "Take a bite." They weren't just suggesting it. They needed it. My chest tightened. I picked up the burger, held it, felt every eye on me. "I like to let it cool," I said. That got a few soft laughs, but the smiles didn't change, didn't fade. I set it back down, reached into my wallet, pulled out cash. 100. Way more than the bill. I slid it onto the counter. "That should cover it," I said. The waitress didn't look at the money. She looked at me. "You didn't even try it." "I'm good," I said, already standing. No one stopped me. That was the worst part. They just watched, smiling, waiting, like I'd made the wrong choice, but they weren't done with me yet. I walked out, got in the truck, locked the door. Hands stayed on the wheel a second longer than usual. Didn't look back right away. Didn't want to. When I finally pulled onto the road, I checked the mirror. Just once. That was enough. The diner was gone. No lights, no sign, no fresh pavement. Just an old, broken-down building sitting in the dark. Windows black, roof sagging, like it had been abandoned for decades. No cars, no people, nothing. I didn't slow down, didn't stop, didn't touch the food I had left in the cab. 30 years on the road, and I learned something new that night. Some places don't serve food. They serve a choice. And if you make the wrong one, you don't leave hungry. Before this last story, if you're enjoying these stories, a quick like helps push this further so more people can hear it. Story 3. My name's Brian. This happened on a weekend trip to Las Vegas. Wasn't anything special, just needed to get away, clear my head, lose a little money, pretend I had more than I did. First night there, I'm at a bar talking to a local, older guy, quiet. We get to talking about places outside the city. That's when he mentions it. "Best sunset you'll ever see," he says. "About 30 miles out. There's a diner out there. You'll know it when you see it." I nod, already interested. Then he adds one more thing. "Don't eat there." No explanation, just that. He held eye contact a second too long after he said it, like he was deciding whether to say more, then choosing not to. Next day, I make the drive. Vegas disappears fast. Lights fade, noise fades. Just open desert and long stretches of nothing. Right around where he said, I see it. A diner. And beyond it, the view. I pull over near the edge of a small ridge, and yeah, he wasn't lying. The sky looked unreal. Orange bleeding into deep red, fading into purple. The kind of sunset that makes everything feel quiet for a minute. I stood there longer than I expected, just watching. Then my stomach reminded me I hadn't eaten. I looked back at the diner. Lights on, parking lot almost full. I thought about what he said. Don't eat there. I shrugged it off. It's a diner. How bad could it be? I walked in. Bell didn't ring. No sound at all. That was the first thing. The second? It was empty. Completely empty. Every booth, every stool at the counter. But I'd just seen the parking lot. Cars everywhere. Keys still sitting in a few ignitions. I stood there a second. Then I sat at the counter. There was a little bell next to the register. I tapped it. The sound felt dull, like it didn't carry. A moment later, a waitress came out from the back. "Sorry," she said quickly. "We're swamped. I can't keep up tonight." I looked around. Empty. "Yeah," I said slowly. "Looks busy." She didn't react to that, just smiled. I ordered a burger and water. She nodded, wrote it down, disappeared again. I sat there alone. At least, that's what it felt like. The water came first. I didn't see her bring it, it was just there. Glass was cold, condensation dripping down the sides. I picked it up and took a sip. The feeling hit instantly. Not pain, not dizziness, something else. Like my vision slipped, just a fraction. Like I could suddenly see through something. For a split second, there was movement, shapes, people. Then it snapped back. Empty diner. I froze, set the glass down, stared at it. My heart was picking up now. I told myself it was nothing. Dehydration, heat. Yeah, that made sense. I picked the glass back up, took a longer drink. This time, it stayed. The diner wasn't empty anymore, not even close. Every booth was filled. Families talking, laughing, eating. A group of businessmen crowded around a table in the corner. Truckers and cowboys lined the counter beside me. I could hear them, plates clinking, low conversations, the hum of a full room. But something was off. No one was looking at each other, not really. Their movements felt delayed, like they were following a pattern they couldn't break, like echoes of something that had already happened. I turned my head slowly. The waitress stood behind the counter now, watching me, smiling, wider than before. I dropped the glass. It hit the counter, didn't shatter. The sound felt wrong, muted, like everything else. And just like that, it was gone. Empty again, silent, like nothing had ever been there. My food slid onto the counter in front of me. I didn't see her bring it. "Enjoy," she said. I didn't touch it, didn't even look at it for more than a second. I reached into my pocket, pulled out a 20, set it on the counter. "That should cover it," I said. My voice sounded distant, even to me. She didn't take the money, didn't say anything, just kept smiling. I stood up, walked to the door, half expected it not to open. It did. The air outside hit different, clean, real. I didn't look back, didn't check the parking lot, didn't want to know. I drove straight back to Vegas. Lights never looked so good. Noise never sounded so right. I left the next day, went home, told myself it was over, just something weird, something I imagined. But every now and then, I'll be sitting somewhere, quiet, alone, glass of water in front of me, and I'll see it, just for a second, a thin layer of static, like something still there, just out of reach, waiting for me to take another sip. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you have a story that makes the hair on the back of your neck stand on end, share it here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the channel and allows me to curate more of these stories for you.